For Leadership 540, my name is Eric Carrasco, and for this week's video assignment, we're going to talk about a week one complete assignment that asks us to focus on a mission, vision, and values of a specific organization. For that assignment, I decided to focus on Northwest Christian University's mission, vision, and values, specifically because I'm an employee there and I've been an employee there for the past 4 years. My aim and my goal with this video is to not only say and describe the mission and the vision specifically of NCU, but I also want to talk about how it drives me and motivates me as a leader on campus. I arrived on campus in 2010 as an undergraduate, a kid from Las Vegas eager to play soccer. The mission and the vision of the school was far from something that I had ever even thought about, but I always did notice that on a lot of letterhead, on a lot of advertisements that we had on campus, the words wisdom, faith, and service were always there. I didn't really know what they meant, but they were always there, always on display for us to know. And they were something that really caught my eye as the years went on. I wanted to know what that meant. Fast forward to the time that I graduated in 2014, I came on staff as an assistant men's soccer coach, and since then I've transitioned into a graduate financial aid position, and I'm also a GA for academic services. Specifically, I want to talk about first is the mission of NCU. The mission of NCU states NCU is a university that fosters wisdom, faith, and service through excellent academic programs within a Christ centered community. Looking over that mission statement, I got to see again those three words that I had said previously always kind of caught my eye as an undergraduate. Wisdom, faith, and service. For me as a leader on campus now, I really value those three words, wisdom, faith, and service. And more importantly, I value community, which is the very last word of the mission statement. I think as a leader, the mission statement calls me to strive to be in community, not necessarily with just faculty and staff, but also with the students. I think the beauty of the mission statement and that short and sweet sentence is that within the context of community, within the context of family that NCU creates, we have the ability to provide really good um, academic programs that will foster the wisdom, the faith, and the service. Wisdom being through academic programs, like I said, faith being that relationship that we allow students to kind of build and build on if they already come into NCU with a Christian background, and it's a chance to explore, and the service because at NCU we value servant leadership. We always talk about this servant leadership. We've talked about it in leadership class, but this idea of not being bigger than being not being big something bigger than ourselves. I'm sorry, and that opportunity that we have in the kingdom of God to continue to serve other people, not just to be self-served, but to serve. As a leader, I also think about the type of leadership that this mission calls me to do. We've talked about transactional leadership, we've talked about transformational leadership, and I think this specific type of leadership, and I'm talking about transformational leadership, is not only unique to me because I love to be a transformative leader. It's how I thrive, but I believe that NCU in our mission statement calls us to be transformative leaders, calls us to invest in the lives of students, invest in the lives of our colleagues, because it ultimately contributes to this idea of a family, to the idea of the Christ centered community, this idea that we're all involved in our lives, in each other's lives, and it builds this really tight knit community that people just love to be a part of. And when I get to brag about my alma mater to friends, to family, to prospective students when I'm recruiting or people that I see off campus, I always talk about the one thing, the last word of this mission statement: community. Community, community, community. We are a tight knit community. We love to know about each other, to help each other grow. My my question to people watching this or to people that focus on other organizations is specifically if there's a part of their mission statement that kind of clearly paints a picture of how should you lead in your organization. Like I said before, my mission statement allows me to lead in a transformative manner. It calls me to be in a transformative manner. So I would venture to wonder, how other mission statements call their leaders, their employees to lead in their specific organizations. I'd love to hear about that. So let's move on to NCU's vision. And NCU's vision states NCU aspires to be a university characterized by its commitment to equip students to discover and answer God's call in their lives. NCU achieves this vision through academic excellence and faithful stewardship in a Christ centered community that develops purposeful graduates. I really love the second sentence that allows you to understand how we plan as a faculty and staff, how we plan to live out, how we plan to help students, how to equip students to discover God's call. One conversation that I always have with prospective student athletes is that, hey, Northwest Christian University, we're a Christian university, so curriculum is going to be faith based. You're going to have to go to chapel. These things are integrated into the everyday life of a student at NCU. And the beauty of it, and one thing that I love about it, is that it welcomes anybody, no matter where you're at. It welcomes you. If it's the first time you're hearing the story of Jesus Christ, if it's the second time, the 10th time, maybe you're a seasoned vet, as they say it. But we meet you wherever we're at, and we use that criteria of God's love. We use the Bible to guide our academic curriculums, and ultimately, as the vision says at the end, by attempting to create with the intent, excuse me, to create purposeful graduates. And I love that about NCU. I love that we are we are attempting to really be very, very, very intentful, sorry, um, to create these graduates that aren't just going to go out and maybe not be in their field, but really make an impact in their local communities or back home wherever they're at. I'd wonder if other organizations have specifically in their vision and values exactly how they're going to do it, how their employees are going to lead after they leave the workplace. So I see it here where we have set forth a vision of how we want to lead our students, and then also we've set forth a call to how we want our students to be once they leave. That statement, purposeful graduates, we want to create purposeful graduates. I love that. And I'd love to hear how other organizations and how other missions, visions, and values really try and explain that for leaders. I think that would be a great idea if organizations helped leaders out. If if an employee could look at their mission statement, can look at their vision of the company and say, hey, this is exactly what I have to do. It's mapped out and there's really no thinking about it. And that ultimately creates a passion for the organization that fosters, more buy-in. And I think that creates also a really good amount of success. These 8 years at NCU, I think I've grown exponentially at not only as a son of God, but as a friend, as a son, as a brother, and ultimately my relationship with Christ and my Christian faith has also grown through these classes and through my opportunity to be an administrator. I've also grown as a leader, and ultimately, I believe that the reason that I've managed to grow as a leader is because of this mission statement, because of these words that I've continued to see even from the first time that I got here: wisdom, faith, and service. I'm constantly seeking out ways that I can help people gain more wisdom or myself retain wisdom. I'm constantly trying to figure out how I can help students grow in their faith and how I can help myself with those relationships that I build to grow in my own faith. And then lastly, service, how I can help provide opportunities for servant leadership, for services for students so that they create more of an opportunity for themselves to realize the value of service to others. And ultimately, by doing that with students, I'm also allowing myself to be in service of others. Like I said earlier, I've been excited for these 8 years of my time at NCU, and I've even been more excited about this recent time I've gotten to spend in MAL. I appreciate you guys taking the time to watch this video, and if you want to reach out with some of those questions or challenges that I asked about, feel free. This is Eric Roscoe signing out.